Now it's way too far of your. I think you're gonna. I think Ben is gonna need some backup. So I'm just gonna go ahead and introduce the players into this game.
We're slipping.
The Muslim is our blue Terran spawning on the left bottom side of Entombed Valley, and Root TT1 is our Canadian Protoss spawning on the left top side. Ben, game 1 was bizarre and a game that should have been sort of over, and I think it was over, but the Muslims somehow, some way turned it around, made an incredibly ballsy decision to fly out 8 Marines when you thought they were most needed. But he won. Game 2, TT1 looked really solid.
TT1 looked great. I liked the build a lot. Maybe designed to exploit some of the habits that Demuslim might have, as you already pointed out, Kev. But I don't know that it's the kind of build that would work twice. I really feel like Demuslim's going to be paying closer attention and will be much more mindful of things like that. So, you know, what can TT1 fall back to? What is his go-to going to be?
The Muslim is certainly not a player who's afraid to mix things up in a best of 3. If two games have played out in a certain way, often in game 3 you might see him do something really, really crazy. Or he's just going to be a little bit more careful this time because he feels that, I think in general, quite confident in TVP. And he might just feel that he will be able to beat TT1 in a straight-up game if it goes into the late game. It's hard to say, it's hard to make these kind of predictions right now. I know Ben as I lived with him for a little while, and I've often seen him do really crazy stuff in game 3, but it's impossible to predict.
Nobody knows, Rotti.
But we will know soon.
Indeed we shall. It looks to me like it's just going to be more of the same, fast expansion on the Muslim side, and probably something pretty similar on TT1 side. Entombed Valley, how do you feel about this match in TVP? I think it's pretty good for Protoss.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the only scary thing is that as Protoss you tend to get a little bit greedy on this map, so you want to go up to 3 bases really quick, and then if a Terran stays on 2 base and then make that scary 2-base push with a lot of Vikings, even pull SUVs and a ton of bio units, you might just die to it because you were too greedy. But I feel really comfortable the moment I get observers on the map and the moment I have high Templars, because your main is completely covered by your turret and by your natural. So there's basically well, you could maybe fly something in here, but then you almost already see it, or you just put something over here, and then you will always see what flies over here. So I find it very comfortable if I'm on 3 bases, and I always like playing on 3 bases against Terran Ben. Having Storm, having Zealots, having a lot of gates, makes Paradise, makes taking a fort a lot easier. So I in general like this map against Terran, but as I said, sometimes I get a bit too greedy.
I also like the spawn positions that TT1 has drawn here, Kevin. He's got some really nice pushes that he can do, given that he is vertical, or spawning vertically to his opponent. So that does open up some more possibilities. 2-base Colossus pushes. A Squirtle push on this map, for example, would be very, very difficult to deal with.
I agree. Every single game so far has opened up exactly identical, Ben. As we always saw that Engineering Bay going down, them being forced to cancel, the next being a little bit delayed, the Muslim once more going for the no gas fast expand. This time he did drop 2 refineries once more before he dropped these barracks. So I think he's going to stick on 2 Rexes, Ben, rather than the 3 Rex we saw from him on Ohana.
I'm thinking it might even be a Banshee opening for once.
Why would he drop the 2nd Rex then?
I don't know.
Seems very unlikely.
It just looks like a lot of gas, but now we do see the tech lab going down, and that's in fact what he's going to be spending that gas on. He's going to be getting some upgrades.
Yeah, Banshees is something that we've seen quite a lot on Entombed. Certainly back in the days, man, when we casted, ooh, that's the first forge, that's the 2nd forge. So TT1 is going with this build once more. Well, this time the Muslim is going to be able to tech a little bit quicker, so we might see him really able to push TT1. If he stays on 2 bases, the medevacts are going to be a lot quicker because he went 2 Rex instead of 3. And I think that is going to be quite hard for TT1 to split out his units. Now, I must say, I think it's a little bit easier on Ohana. I mean, on Entombed than it was on Ohana to split up your army, but still, I don't know. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty eager myself. There goes the extra gates for TT1. Factory goes down for the Muslim, so it will be much faster medevacs than we saw previously. And you know, if he tries to hit like we talked about it at the end of the last game, Kevin. There's so many times that exist here that the Muslim could possibly exploit. I'm really surprised to see TT1 just doing the exact same build.
This poor Stalker, man. This poor Stalker is gonna run. No, wow. What? Both players have like. The Muslim turns right around when he could have run straight into Stalker. This is like the ultimate proof that the Muslim is not hacking, as the free Stalker was coming his way, but the Muslim decided to turn around and not to go for it. Oh, he didn't see it, of course.
Factory finishing up. It should be followed by a starport shortly. Demuslim still producing a ton of bio units right now, Kev.
Yeah, everything is standard right now from Demuslim. Dropping that starport, he's going to drop the reactor on the factory. He's just producing as many Marines and Marauders as he can right now. I'm just really curious to see when is he going to go up to 3 command centers like he did on Ohana, or if he's going to stay on 2 bases and going to try to put on as much pressure as he can from 2 bases. Maybe just go for a semi-doom drop and then try to take the game straight up. Because if he doesn't do anything, if he lets TT1 get these ridiculous upgrades completely uncontested, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble once more.
Yeah, he's going to be in a lot of trouble, Kevin. I'm so surprised at how long this Robo is delayed from TT1. Still hasn't thrown it down.
He's probably going to even get 3 more gates, man, before he's going to get that Robo.
It's just such a risky way to play, but if the more time Demuslim gives TT1, the better it is for our Protoss player. More racks going down now. Finally, the starport has been switched out onto that reactor, so we are going to see double medevac production.
And these medevacs, they hit really quite early. I guess the blink will be ready, but here we do see the Robo going down. I guess blink will be ready right about the time that the first medevacs fly into the main base, but still that's tricky. Now we see the 3 additional gates going down. Just look at TT1's vision, man. This is how TT1 has been playing the last 8 minutes of this game.
Completely blind. As you say, he does send out a probe just to see if he can get some sort of feel for what's going on.
Command center going down, Ben, in the main base of the Muslim. I'm a little bit surprised by this.
Yeah, interesting choice, but of course, I suppose cutting out that early 3rd racks means that he will eventually have that extra money, so he can drop that expansion. At the same time, Factory is going to float over the natural of TT1, and what is it going to spot?
Well, it's going to spot a pretty weak army, and I think that's going to also trigger the reaction that the Muslim is just going to try to perhaps either stim up or drop in the main base, but he's going to have to make something happen. Army supply right now, the Muslim's army is bigger, and it's so much more powerful.
And he does stim right up. 1, 2 force fields go down, but they're not perfect.
All the Zealots are melting. Nice pickup right there by the Muslim. Genius pickup.
Yeah, very nice control there by Demuslim. Zealots are all gone. It's only Stalker Sentry right now. However, that bio count's not what it was in the previous game.
Right now, if he would stim again, Ben, even when the force fields drop, these Stalkers, they do not have enough DPS to deal with these bio units, which are under the effect of heal.
Either way, Demuslim feeling that for whatever reason he's got to back off. Perhaps it's because he's got that 3rd command center. He knows there's no 3rd nexus.
I think you're spot on with that, man. The Muslim doesn't have to. I guess that's the main reason why he doesn't want to do it. And he also doesn't know the timing of additional warp ins, doesn't know how many gates there really are. I mean, you might see an opportunity and it looks okay, but the moment 7 units get warped in, suddenly it's not all that okay anymore. Oh, TT1.
Wow, great game sense here by TT1, putting the Stalkers right in position. Doesn't have vision of those medevacs just yet, but the Muslim's got to be so careful not to fly over.
This is like watching Jaws, man.
Yeah. Still, though, the Muslim just kind of leaving those medevacs to hang out. TT1 leaving his Stalkers to hang out.
Jaws ain't hungry.
I wonder if he had an observer or something catch a glimpse of that drop. He seems so on top of it.
I don't think so, but he kind of has to do that. This finance is going to be taken out by a couple of Marauders. This might trigger the reaction to pull these Stalkers back. I kind of wonder that why the Muslim knows. Do you think that's crazy? I think that's the scariest part.
I think the Muslim just wants to make something else happen somewhere on the map before he sends the drop.
Because it's a big drop. Maybe the Muslim wants to see these units move out.
Oh, that's probably exactly what he's waiting for.
That's so crazy by the Muslim. The Muslim throws down the scan. He sees the units leaving right now. But the Stalkers are still
start to move, and the Stalkers haven't budged at all. And 1 medevac down. 2nd medevac will unload, as will the 3rd.
These bio units are still too strong, so TT1 is in a little bit of trouble. And he's forced to retreat. Really, really sick play from both sides.
Yeah, nicely done there from the Muslim, and equally nicely done by TT1. Just leaving those units behind means he preserves basically all of that tech, all of that economy. If that was an undefended base, the damage would have been just catastrophic.
Exactly. Now, the Muslim did lose a lot there. As we take a look at units lost resources, we can see that he clearly lost more than TT1. But what he did do, guys, is he bought himself precious time, super precious time. As TT1 was forced to retreat, the Muslim is mining from 3 bases, and he knows what's coming right now. This is not a surprise. The Muslim has to defend 1 time and 1 time only. And he's going to ball so hard, Ben, until TT1 is going to find him.
It's all going to come down to this moment. He doesn't have a single Viking, Kev. That could be one thing that's bothersome. Of course, Marauders can make very short work of Colossi if they can get in range. Man, that's so much bio. If we just look at the army supplies, it's actually TT1 with the larger army, but it doesn't look like it.
And the biggest problem is, oh, the Muslim is just going to go for it. He's going to bring in SCVs from the side as well.
Oh, and he does get right on top of that Colossus. The Colossus just evaporating. Great engagement there from Demuslim. And as soon as these force fields expire, the SCVs are going to pull forward. And as silly as it sounds, they're going to be really tough to deal with just because they absorb so much damage.
New Colossus joining in. Blinkstalk is trying to get in a better position, but there's just nothing to absorb the damage from all these Marauders. This Colossus, beautiful micro, but will fall. The Immortals are going to fall. TT1 doing a good job though, picking up as many units as he can, but I think the Muslim has done it.
He has absolutely done it, Kev. He's killed every Colossus, killed every Immortal, and those are units that TT1 just can't afford to replace. And while he does blink away with a few more Stalkers, the you know, those meaty core units that really make up the brunt of his army, they're all gone.
I mean, this kind of brings a smile to my face, even though I'm really good friends with Payam as well, and I think he's a great Protoss player, and he's my teammate, and I really adore him. This is the Muslim band that I really liked and that I lived with for a long time, so I saw so many games. I love this snap decision making of him. He scans, he sees the army, he sees one Colossus, and he knows that +2 is going to be ready with 3 seconds, and he doesn't hesitate. He just immediately pulls the SCVs, he goes, he gets a great engagement. If he waits 15 seconds longer, there are 2 Colossus. TT1 might be better prepared. If better force fields go down, that battle could be completely different. This is that snap decision making that I love of the Muslim, and sometimes I feel the more that the Muslim thinks, the more complicated he makes stuff. And if he just goes with his first instincts and immediately goes for it, he makes these brilliant calls, because that was phenomenal.
Yeah, man, that's why they call him the Devil Terran.
I would love to see that fight once more after the game is done. If we can do that production crew, that would be absolutely awesome.
TT1 is going to fall back and try to take a 3rd base. That Nexus just now starting, but that's a big investment, Kevin. The Muslim's going to be maxed out pretty soon.
Yeah, he's been on 3 bases for a long time, and I guess he lost quite a few SCVs once more, but he also continued producing SCVs during that fight. He's going to drop his 4th command center right now. Upgrade-wise, he's doing more than fine. He's on 2-2 right now. We see 3-3s on the way. A really good game by the Muslim.
Very, very impressive game from the Muslim, who is about 50 supply ahead of his opponent. 30 of that is army supply. And the Viking count, Kev, is up to 6, which is the point where they start to be pretty effective against the Colossi. It's not quite the same as having 12, you know, but it's still a very healthy count. And TT1's going to step out on the map. This seems a little bit risky.
Yeah, man, something, the Muslim is doing something right now, which is kind of against his religion. You know why the Muslim said he plays Terran?
Because he likes to use stim.
No, because he hates low HP units. And he really hates seeing red and orange units before a fight starts. And look at these medevacs. Come on, man.
So bad-mannered, the Muslim. Repair those bad boys.
Because they're going to die really well. Besides that, of course, he's playing a fantastic game. TT1 is going to perhaps try to force the issue right now.
Oh, the Muslim's all about taking this fight, though. He's not afraid, and those Vikings going to jump right on top of the Colossi. Zealot's just going to melt immediately.
God, Marauder's coming in.
There is way too much Terran here for TT1 to deal with.
Beautiful Marauder flank from this side. More force fields going down, but there is too much DPS in this army. TT1 calls GG, and the Muslim continues where he basically left last season, Ben, playing excellent in the North American Star League.
Yes, he does. That's a great way to kick off his Season 4.
Yes.
We are going to take one more look at that big fight, this key fight where Demuslim just goes for it. And look at how the bio.
And +2, Ben. +2 was ready right when the Muslim pulled all those units. And look at the minimap. There is a big red dot incoming, and that is that 2nd Colossus. With 2 Colossus, this really can be a different fight.
With 2 Colossus, with the position that you're able to gain with 2 Colossus, it just changes the whole dynamic. The Muslim really hit it at a key timing, and this is one of the things that separates good players from great players. The Muslim just showing a spark of greatness there.
That's a Terran player that I love, Ben, and that so many other people out there love as well, because he has an excellent stream. If you guys are not aware of it, you should definitely check it out. I think it's twitch.tv/themuslim, the Devil Terran, the handsome Devil Terran. Really entertaining stuff and great games for him.
Wins that series 2-1 over TT1. We're going to take a short break, folks. And when we get back, it'll be QXC versus MMA. Huge shout out to Kingston HyperX for their support of the North American Star League. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with QXC MMA after this.